All right, 3, 2, 1. What's good, YouTube? We back with another video. Your boy AP Reacts. Yeah, today we're just gonna do a short reaction video to my cousin, Mike J, Jr. Well, as y'all know, it's Mike Porter Jr. MPJ. It's my older cousin, so we're gonna be reacting to him getting traded and his reaction to him getting traded. So it's a double reaction video. He's reacting to his trade, I'm reacting to him reacting to his trade. So, yeah. So we're just gonna get into it.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Curious Mike back with another video. I know I ain't talked to y'all for a while, but something interesting happened. I'm out here in Capri right now, actually. I'm out here with some friends and some family. I was on the way out here when I got the news that I was traded. I was on a plane ride here, and yeah, I found out. I'm gonna try to do this video in one take, so I might be a little all over the place, but I want to start off expressing my gratitude to the Nuggets organization. I remember when I was first drafted.
Well, before you start, man, I just want to say, man, I feel like, well, not feel like, I know, like last season went out with a bitter taste. He struggled a little bit, well, a lot of bit actually, compared to his actual standard and his actual production ability, what I'm saying, through a shoulder injury. And then anybody who plays sports, let alone something like basketball where you got to move your limbs and stuff, really, and have no restrictions, like, you can't really compete at the highest level, especially if you're a shooter. Like, maybe if he was a defender, like if he was just known as a defender, maybe he could have fought through it and just whatever, but he's known as a sniper. So it's like, if you're known as a sniper, you can't really, what I'm saying, your shoulder fucking with you, like, you can't really do what you want to do. Like, but, mostly they traded him just because of the contract, so I just want to clear that up. Yes, he has deficiencies and stuff like that, but mostly because of the contract. His contract didn't allow them to be able to add to their bench or add to their depth. And as we seen in the last playoffs, you need depth to compete with all these teams. So for them, they just looked at it as, more of a cap flexibility thing, more so than a we don't like Michael thing. But I just wanted to clear that up before you start the video.
Draft night. I remember the whole week leading up to draft. I was in a ton of pain.
And that's not something somebody told me. That's just context. You just watching Nuggets for 4 or 5, 6. Well, so ever since he was drafted, so almost 7 years, 6, 7 years, and seeing just the weaknesses of the team, and and that's where I got that from.
Dealing with some back stuff that I had dealt with in college, and then all the way leading up to the draft. And I remember getting a phone call from Tim Conley, probably the day before the draft. And I had no idea where I was going to land because of the injury history. And, Tim, me and him had the first conversation we had the day before the draft. We never had any interview. I interviewed with a lot of other teams, and Nuggets were not one. But I talked to Tim the day before, and, then draft night comes around. And I always expected to be the #1 pick in the draft prior to my injury history. So the draft night did not go as I expected, as I kept kind of dropping.
And people don't understand too, like, unless you just into the high school basketball scene, shit, even me, I didn't even really get to 100% fully get to see, because, he lived in Columbia. Well, he lived in Columbia, Missouri. I live in Atlanta, so obviously that was not the same places. So I didn't get to even really see his high school games like that. I got to see highlights and stuff, but me being in school, I'm young. I don't got no money to go just fly out there myself, and you know what I'm saying? And it's really just, we young, so teenagers and shit, we don't have control over our, you feel me? Stuff like that. But, man, like, people don't even know, like, man, Mike won the #1 player in America for no reason. Like, let's just say that. And not just in the state, not just in the city, not just in the county, in the 50 states, you feel me? 6'11", killer, like, dog, athletic and a sniper, super skilled. And anybody who hooped around him at that time or before or his injury, they all can vouch. So, man, I just wish people could, and they're still gonna see he's still an elite player. So don't get me wrong, but I wish people could have seen like his full package, the athleticism, the body and niggas, the windmill and the between the, you know what I'm saying, all that, man. And I know he wished the same thing. Like, Just knowing him and just knowing I know he was the same thing. So, but I mean, I really wish people could have seen that shit for sure. Like that shit was different. Like it made me put respect on the levels of hoop. Let me just say that it just made me put respect on the levels of hoops for sure.
Until I got selected by the Nuggets with the 14th pick. And in one of these videos, I'll go into more depth about that whole draft story. But the point of this video is to express my gratitude to the Nuggets organization. Tim Conley, Josh Kroenke, Stan Kroenke, and the whole front office, they took a chance on me that day. They drafted me with the 14th pick. And my life was forever changed. I went out to Denver, and the journey started as a young kid. I think I was 18 years old, just not even really experiencing college much because of the injury stuff that had gone on. And now I'm in the NBA. So my first thanks is to, Josh, Stan, Tim Conley, and the whole front office for taking a chance on me and changing my life. And then from there, when I got to Denver, I had to deal with all the injury stuff that I had prior to the draft. And ended up having to get another surgery, my second back surgery, before I had played a game in a Nuggets uniform. And so my second thanks, I want to thank to the medical team.
And that's what always blow me when folks, like, for the folks that do, because not everybody says it, but the folks that do, like, in the comments and shit, they be saying, like, oh, he don't care about this, da, da, da. Oh, he don't care about the game. Oh, he don't really. Bro, you don't fight through all that shit. You don't fight through all that stuff, feel me, if you don't love the game, you feel me? You don't play with your shoulder down there half fucking working, injecting that shit if you don't care about the game or care about your team, you feel me? Like, you feel me? Yeah, shot selection sometimes might have been a little iffy, you feel me? Yeah, maybe got cut backdoor on and, backdoor cuts on him a little bit more than you would like, but you feel me? Like, that was just his potential, that was just his deficiencies. It wasn't from a lack of caring about the game, though, you know what I'm saying? And just him talking about the injuries is just like, man, like, people in the comments be killing me though, but I gotta remember they casuals and they don't really watch the game. They don't really look into the details of the game, the context. That's what casuals are. Casuals just look at the surface level, and then the people who I guess you could say not experts, but people who not casuals, they look into the details and the context of the game and they watch it more frequently. So I just gotta remember that, I guess. But it do be pissing me off when I see it in the comments. I ain't gonna lie.
Specifically the physical therapists and the trainers over there with the Nuggets. Steve Short, Dan, my boy Jay, who helped me a lot through this process, and everyone else who helped out. You guys were tremendous in getting me back into a place where I was able to play the game I loved, and I just want to say thank you for that. And then from there, it's all the little people, as some would say, that I want to express my gratitude to, from the equipment managers to the ball boys to the chef every day. I developed a relationship with a lot of you guys, and I just want to express my gratitude for every single day showing up for me and being there for me and, becoming my friends. Sparky, shout out to my guy Sparky, equipment manager who was there 40 years, who recently retired. Gene, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, everybody. It's been a treat to grow up and play in Denver. From there, I want to thank my teammates. I came in and I had a whole different group of teammates than the teammates I ended up with. But the two guys that were with me along the whole journey, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. I appreciate you guys. Accepting me coming into the team. You guys already had your two-man game going on, your very potent two-man game. And, when I came there, you guys immediately made me feel comfortable with my game. And you guys put me in a position to succeed. So I want to thank all my teammates throughout the years over there in Denver. It's been great getting to play with you guys and eventually win a championship. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Coach Malone. Thank you, man, for just for helping me grow up, and teaching me how to play the game the right way. Like I said, I pretty much went from high school to the NBA because I never got to play. I never got to really play college basketball because of the injuries. So,
and that's another thing people skip over when they talk about Mike, and well, the people that talk about him, because everybody don't be dissing him, but the ones that do, like on defensive stuff, like people understand college is a big what do you call it, developmental period for like athletes who was like that top guy in high school, because then you get around people who were like who are older, who are good as you and stuff like that, and athletic wise, and you got coaches who not gonna let you get away with stuff that you would get away with in high school because that high school coach never had a top 25, top 15, top 10, top 5 player, you feel me? So they kind of like, oh, I'm gonna just let him kind of get away with more. But college coaches, they've been having top recruits their whole career, so they more willing to check you and not let you do certain shit, and also teach you certain stuff, you feel me? And because he didn't get to play, he missed that chunk of development, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't realize how that's impacted his game, just all him being an all around player. And the fact that he's still, down there averaging 18 and 7, you know what I'm saying, as a third option, behind, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and Jamal Murray, one of the toughest guards in the league, and Aaron Gordon, you know what I'm saying? That shows his ability, and two, his dedication to the game, you feel me? And his execution level and skill level. So people don't ever talk about that he didn't get to play in college, like, you feel me? So that kind of messed up his development. Not messed it up because it's not like he can't recover it, but it just, I guess you could say, stunted it, you know what I'm saying, at a certain point. But his talent overcame it, but he still had that chunk of development missing, if you get what I'm saying.
Coach Malone, I appreciate you, helping me out, helping me grow as a player. And I remember I really broke out in the bubble. It was really my rookie year. My rookie year, I did not play, but then my second year in the NBA was really considered my rookie year because it was my first year playing. So we played for a while, and then we had that hiatus because of COVID. I don't even know if I said hiatus right, but we had that break because of COVID, and then we went out to the bubble. And I actually got a lot of playing time for the first time because a lot of guys were injured, or not injured, a lot of guys had COVID. So when I went out there, I immediately was starting. And I really broke out. I think I had 3 30-point games in a row. And Coach Malone really threw me into the fire in those playoffs, really as a rookie. So I appreciate you, Coach Malone, as well. So I'm really excited for this next chapter out here in Brooklyn. I think over there in Denver, I felt like my ceiling had kind of plateaued. We have a very we just have a way of playing, and how Joker plays, how Jamal plays, that two-man game is very potent, and that's how we play. And I'm so appreciative of the way we play. We end up winning a championship, but I do feel like my ceiling in Denver kind of plateaued a little bit, and I'm excited for this next chapter in Brooklyn for sure. It's crazy because me and Cam are actually boys. We're pretty cool, We're even having talks of swapping homes. He might stay in my crib in Denver. I might stay where he lived in Brooklyn. But anyways, obviously Denver got a great player and a great dude, and I'm excited for him to be able to finally, compete for a championship over there. And I myself am excited to expand my game and be able to do what I do. But I want to get into the story of how I found out I got traded. I actually was on the plane over here to.
I respect the P for the way he's taking it, you feel me? I know he probably still sucks, like, you don't get to play with the best player in the world, you feel me? And that team is right on the verge for a championship, but it's like bittersweet because now he get to scratch that itch of, you know what I mean, like, developing his bag, and you know what I'm saying, because he's never been a role player in his life until he went to Denver. So it's like now I feel like he get to experience both sides of the coin. So now he can really know, like, all right, which one do he really prefer to want to do the rest of his career? Like, I feel like he get this year and a half, whatever, in Brooklyn, get traded to a contender, and that's how I envision it. You know what I'm saying? I don't envision him being in Brooklyn long term, just because he's an impact player and he plays winning basketball. He's already won a ring, so obviously that's happened. So yeah, I'm excited for him to kind of get that itch scratch, and you know what I'm saying, and then get out, potentially get back to a contender and get back to hooping for rings and stuff. So yeah.
Saint Tropez, and I'm over here trying to enjoy my time before I get back to work, before I head back to Denver and get back to work. And I'm laying down on the plane, and I got on the Wi-Fi, and I saw a text I got from my agent and from someone in the front office over in Denver. I think it was John Wallace, just saying, yo, can you get on a phone call? It's urgent. And I immediately knew what was up. I immediately knew what was going on. So I couldn't get on the phone with either of them because I'm on the plane, you know. And I just started texting back and forth with my agent, and I was like, "Man, where are we going? Like, where am I headed to?" And he told me Brooklyn, and my first thought was just like kind of shock, honestly, because I think 2 days prior, I was walking around my home in Denver. I actually was staying at the Four Seasons Residences, and I was down there at the bar or something, and I ran into John Wallace. I didn't even know he was the newly appointed GM because I, yeah, I'm off social media, so I had no idea. I ran into him. We sat down. We talked for a while, and he started telling me, you know, how we're gonna build the team, who he wants to get, who he wants to surround us with, you know, and who he wants in the second unit. He wants to find a point guard that could feed me the ball in the second unit. All this stuff getting me really excited, but I also think he heard in my voice that I kind of, you know, wanted to grow my game. I didn't want to plateau. I want to keep getting better throughout my career. And I think he also heard that. But I had no idea, you know, from that conversation, I'm thinking we're going to make some changes. We're going to move some things around. I'm going to feel more comfortable next year coming back in with that second unit. And I was excited for it. So when I heard the news, when I got the text from John Wallace and, you know, my agent, I was shocked. But at the end of the day, that's the NBA, that's the business. And I have no hard feelings. And I'm excited for the Nuggets organization because, like I said previously, I think it was a clip that went viral last year. But yeah, if we don't win a championship within this next year or two after winning, you know, they're going to make some changes. You know, Nikola's in his prime, Jamal's in his prime. And if we're not stacking the championships, we may have to make a change. And, you know, for me, it was tough because I wasn't able to play the way I wanted to play. I wasn't able to hoop the way I wanted to hoop in the playoffs because of, you know, my shoulder. It's still a little messed up. You can kind of see it's a little popped out still. It's still healing up. But I was severely limited in what I could do in the playoffs. And that was hard. That's the taste that I left with the Nuggets fans
And that's what I was referring to earlier about how it cut the perception like in the NBA and with business in general and especially with stuff like when it comes to production based industries. You know, it's really about what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me yesterday? What have you done for me last week? What have you done for me yesterday? What have you done for me today? What have you done for me today? What have you done for me today? And so it's kind of like sometimes that could jade certain perspectives, um, you know, and I feel like that's what he kind of going through. So I feel like this will be a big comeback year for him, you know what I'm saying, to reestablish that respect on his name. And anybody who was saying, "Oh, get him out the team, he sucked," bro, you have a fucking shoulder injury. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Like, and he got it by diving for the ball. By the way, he didn't get it just by just or chilling around. Now he got it for diving on the floor for a ball. You feel me? So, and then Chris Dunn landed on his shoulder. So you feel me? Really, Chris Dunn fought why he got traded. Nah, just fine. But nah, yeah. I mean, if you saying that, oh, you suck, bro. You don't hoop. You probably don't hoop one, and you probably don't. And you probably a hater, to be honest, because if you get your shoulder hurt, you know it's gonna affect your effectiveness. That's any hooper, KD, Steph, Bron, Jokic. If your shoulder fucked up and you can't really shoot like that, it's gonna affect your production, especially shooting wise. So, but yeah.
organization. You know, I really felt like I let the team down this past playoffs. You know, I went out there and I tried, but I was playing with one arm, like legitimately. My whole shoulder was popped out, torn. I was putting a needle in it every other day, trying to get the pain down. But regardless, I went out there and I tried to play after the shoulder injury, and I just wasn't able to be myself, and I wasn't able to help the team. And you know, that hurts. That's how my journey with the Nuggets ended. But everything happens for a reason. You know, if you know me, you know I'm a man of faith. You know, I believe in God, and you know, I try to put my faith into Him in these situations. I know that He's not going to abandon me. You know, there's a verse that says, "Those who He began a good work in, He's going to complete," and I do believe that.
That's another reason why, outside him being my family member, I respected him is because he always, even when we was younger, like he was like, really my uncle though, that which is his dad. Like he always like they was really well my dad's side of our family in general are just big on faith. That's why I'm like that too. But specifically them, he was on that when he was younger. Like you feel me, he was really big. All like he was younger, he would always bring it up. All my other cousins too, you know, his siblings. They was really big on that. You could tell, like, you feel me? They was big on that, you know. And that's another reason I respected him, because not only was he accomplished as a basketball player, a sport that we both played and both was into, um, he also was a man of faith. And at that point, I was still developing when I was fucking 13, 14, like, you feel me? So 15, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of inspired me too, like, that he was a man of faith and a man of God. He always bring it up. Like, you go to his crib, his Bible there, you feel me? His Bible in the bathroom, he got a Bible in his room, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? He don't be on social media, so it's more than just him being my family member. Like, just as a person, as an individual, like, I respect him overall, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's one of the reasons I respect him too, just because of the man of faith part. Actually helped me get into my faith more from when I was younger, you know what I'm saying, to be honest. And yeah.
So I'm excited for this next chapter. I know I'm just rambling, but um, it's good to be able to get this out before I go to Brooklyn tomorrow and meet with everybody. It's just good to express my gratitude to the Nuggets and everything, and kind of tell y'all how I'm feeling with everything. I'm very excited, and I'm ready to get this next chapter of my life rolling. Yeah, so I got this little camera, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be dropping more videos once in a while, whenever, you know, some comes to mind. I'm gonna try to get back on this Curious Mike thing a little bit. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Curious Mike out.
And that is the video, guys, man. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Just like a little personal video. Just want to react to this, comment on this a little bit. But man, thank y'all for tapping in. You know, more content coming soon. More clips coming soon. And yeah, just stay tuned for what we got coming. We got a lot of big things coming for, you know, the Aaron Porter brand, and yeah, and just you know, just a lot of big things coming, man. A lot of let's just say unexpected things that people wouldn't expect to come. So yeah, thank you, and we're gonna tap back in with y'all. AP Reacts, we out.